Yo, what's up, Joonha? Thank you for being the first person to turn in your video, especially from the freshman. That's really strong work ethic, and I really hope you keep that up. As far as what you show in the video, I think you do everything quite well as far as posture concept. Make sure that you're memorizing the sensations as you do these things. That way you can utilize them later on. Because for week one, the way we've designed it is to help you understand the things that you need to do on a daily basis. Whenever we're standing in any kind of like marching rehearsal, these are all the things you need to have absolutely memorized and be able to call upon in an instant when you need to stand in any kind of rehearsal. So as far as posture goes, I think you do everything really well, and just make sure that you're memorizing some of those sensations. I'm gonna go over a couple of them really quickly, just to make sure that you know the extended purpose for anything that we've showed you so far. So especially the expanding the ribcage one with the L shape that you were mentioning here. When we expand the space here, the purpose is to help further isolate our upper and lower body. If you haven't heard the analogy just yet, you should know that the analogy is our upper body should be the complete musician, whereas the lower body is a complete athlete. When it comes to marching band, you need to be able to play just as well as if you were sitting down, but move as if you were running a marathon. Basically, like things that we're gonna get into later. But by expanding this space here, you can further isolate those parts of your body and understand that I can play just as smooth while moving as I would while sitting down. So make sure you're continuing to think about that, using your breath to help you do this while relaxed as opposed to building a lot of tension. And that goes into basically everything else as far as rolling back the shoulders, making sure you're doing everything with nice, tall breath, things that Olivia's already mentioned to you in her Google Doc. So make sure you thank her for that. So make sure that you're rolling them back, doing everything with really discrete mindfulness, being very active as you do all these things, and just fully focusing on relaxing into your tall posture. As you lift, everything that you do, you want to stay nice and relaxed. The major thing that I'm noticing here in your posture video is the horn care. So let me go over that really quickly for you. When it comes to bell front brass horn carriage, especially ones like ours, so mellophone, trumpet, and the one that you hold, there are a couple things that you need to take away from that are different than concert hold. So we should not have our wrists attached to our horn, because what that does is forces us to flex our wrist, and with the length and duration that we are going to be in a rehearsal setting or in a show setting, you're going to cause a lot of excess strain to your wrist by holding your horn like this. So what you need to do to start is start by holding it with your left hand, stick all 4 of your fingers inside that horn, and then when you're at a down position, you're actually going to switch the position of your thumb. So when you're at horns down, you want your thumb to be placed in between the first and second valve, and you want to open up that hand like so that you can achieve a straight line from your wrist to your elbow with full relaxation. Now, as far as horn moves goes, you want everything to be motivated from the left arm. So my right arm is pretty much an accessory to this horn as far as pressing the valves goes. Everything is motivated from my left hand. So as I move this is where I'm going to go ahead and switch my thumb to the ring position or to the position behind the valves like you have here. But I'm going to keep the open hand shape that I have in my left hand, keeping my palm off the horn, and allow it to rotate using my fingers and my wrist. But now notice that nothing else changes. My horn, my shoulder stays completely relaxed, my arm stays completely relaxed, and I'm using as minimal effort as possible to make the horn move. Now you notice in Olivia's Google Doc comment, she mentioned she just wants you to focus a little bit more on the counts, and that's just something for you to do in your personal practice. I think you do it quite well so far, especially just starting out. So now focus a little bit more on the pathway of that horn, thinking at those counts a little bit more mindfully of 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I'm using my horn moves, I'm thinking motion starts on 1, 2, 3, stops on 4. The way to make any kind of motion, anything that we do clean, is knowing exactly how to stop the motion. Starting the motion is very strong, very important, but stopping the motion just as strongly is almost even more important. So you need to know exactly where to stop your horn so you have a complete control of your instrument. And so notice how my left hand switches between these two. Because very few of our horn moves in a practical setting, in our show setting, are going to be slow count horn moves. We practice this now so you can focus on the control, but eventually you're going to need to be able to move within the amount of energy and control to do a horn snap in one count. Really focusing on that rotation of the hand. Now, as far as the right hand goes, something that Olivia mentioned in hers as well, you can think of holding your tennis ball in your hand. So you have to claw your fingers ever so slightly to make sure you're holding onto that tennis ball, and all you're doing is you're just placing it here on the valves, pinky not inside the thumb ring, because you want as much dexterity for your valves as possible. So try to focus on that a little bit more as far as horn moves goes. So just full control, no palms on the horn. That's gonna be one of the biggest things. That way we can try to minimize the amount of wrist problems that you'll have later on, especially due to duration of what we do. Other than that, I think you do a very, very fantastic job. Continue that strong work ethic, and I really look forward to seeing what else you can do in the future. Thanks, Joonha.